Now comes characterization. When we talk of characters, in these characters we find good number of characters, and Golding was capable of limitless growth of characters in that, and he has developed his characters in order to give a look of fable to that novel. When we talk of major and minor characters, major characters are older boys Simon, Ralph, Jake, and Piggy, and minor characters Roger, Maurice, Robert, Sam and Eric, and 6 little uns. But when we talk of major characters, they are means dominating. But in these 4 boys, Ralph, Jake, Simon, and Piggy, we find Simon and Piggy, they are flat characters. They remain same right from beginning of the novel till end, and that is the reason they have been killed. Let us begin our discussion on characters with Simon. Simon, he was a boy of 10, 12, in between 10 and 12, black and coarse hair, smiling face. And in the beginning, he was not able to utter the sentences properly when he was asked to introduce himself, and he was ridiculed by Jake at that time. But Ralph came for his rescue. But after that, he was in the part of choir group, and he went to explore the island with the help of Ralph and Jake. He was innocent fellow, lack of fear, means he was not at all afraid, full of rationality. He was good natured person, Christ like figure. Golding has mentioned him that he had no fear, and good qualities of his nature we find when he feeds little uns, little boys who were not able to reach at the fruits which were hanging from the trees. So what did he do? He helped them and gave them fruits, and passing from the black to, means he was doing his best to help little uns. It shows how much kind he was. Next thing we talk of his characters is his simple joys in nature, means he was innocent fellow, he enjoys nature a lot, and as he was from a good middle class British family, and which is expressed in his use of language also, in figurative language. When he looks at aromatic bushes, he could not stop himself, and then he start crying like candles, candle bushes, all this like this. It shows how much pleased he was when he looked at the aromatic bushes. So Simon was Christ-like figure. He was innocent. He had no fear, and in order to help others, means we should find that he was full of kindness. He was not at all selfish person. He was not at all ambitious. He didn't a desire to become leader, but he wanted to give a meaning to his life. He was ready to help people. He was ready to find out what is the mystery of the beast, and he helped in his own way. He was wise. Let us, and here's a quotation taken from the book, that as if it was not a good island and the beasties of snake things was real. Means when little uns were there, they were afraid, and at that time he said that it was not a good island. It suggests us Eden, means it reminds us of Bible. Eden like nature of the island. Island was like paradise to them, and what we find here, the important thing is the evil residing in human heart. When we find out from where the problem lies, from where the evil lies, then we can get the answer by our own, that it wasn't a good island. But we will have to look back. If we introspect, we begin inward journey, then we will find that evil resides in human heart. So we will have to address that. So this was his wisdom. Then comes his prophetic vision. His prophetic vision means when in the beginning, when he met Ralph, and Ralph was very much but he had one hope. He was anxious what would happen. At that time he assured Ralph that you will get back to where you came from. Means He assured Ralph, and not only assured. In the end of the novel, what we find that his means prediction came to be true. Means Ralph was rescued, though Simon could not be rescued. But what he said to Ralph, that was totally right. So that was his prophetic vision. Means he is what I say, that a spiritual bent of mind plus, and he has some sort of vision in his speech when he converses with other boys. We find, as we have talked, a spiritual bent of his mind, mystic figure also, and as like mystic figures, he went inside the deep forest and found an open place. And what did he do there? He bushes bending down, and that was a private sanctum for him, and he was praying to God. So that was means it makes us Simon curious, and we readers become very much curious to know more and more about him. So these are his qualities. Next qualities, that is, means he had ability to interpret things from different point of views. He did not interpret things from physical point of view, physical aspects, but intellectual, spiritual, and other aspects also. And that is the reason he had, means he could reach at the root of the problem. And the next important thing is, he was free from all the superstitions and prejudices. He was not at all prejudiced to others. He was, in other words, we can say, he was a perfect blending of rationality and spirituality. Means a sense of balance. Golding has created this character. We can say he is the mouthpiece of Golding. He propounds the philosophy of William Golding, how this world can be rescued. So, and perfect blending of this, and his death, unfortunately that fellow could not live for a long time when there was a problem, means beast lurking in an air. At that time children had nightmare. Jake has offered head of pig, but it was Simon who had no fear at all. Even Ralph was horrified while looking at the sight. At that time he went to solve the mystery, and he went on the top of the mountain. He found that it is not beast, but it is a dead body of an airman, and he released the dead body from his parachute. And then when he was coming down from the top of the mountain, and he wanted to inform the boys that no need to worry, you should not be afraid of this, it was merely a dead body, and this was what I have got it released. But the boys were so much afraid. What did they do? They didn't care, and they thought that beast is coming down, and without giving any thought they started throwing stones, and the fellow was killed. And at that time the fellow was killed. So his death offers the dark areas of man's mind. Because of illogical fear, we had superstition and cruelty of human mind. Means fear had no logic. If we go into the deep with the help of rational frame of mind, then definitely we can find out what lies there, what is the reality. So Simon, but he could not survive in order to tell the reality of the beast. So mystery of the beast also got buried with the help of him. But at that time, Mother Nature, means tides we find, and Simon's body was washed away with the help of tides. So this was the fate of Simon, we find. The next interesting character was Piggy, very fat, and he was wearing a thick glasses, Piggy, and he was suffering from asthma. The fellow was a symbol of representative of adult society. He was serious in his attitude, and but he had ability to gather information and common sense. He was a intellectual person, keen observer of surroundings. When Ralph and Piggy, they found themselves on that island at that time, what Piggy did, he observed everything very minutely, and as he was a very good memory, what can be done was represent, as we have talked earlier, that he was a representative of an adult world, and he was a good friend to this. He was an intelligent fellow, but a shortcoming, one shortcoming he had, that he was serious attitude having, unalloyed by the fun and opposed to irrationality and indecency. So means he had no imagination, no hope, because hope is required for human beings for survival. It gives strength to human heart. But at that time, Piggy, when he found himself helpless before Jack's arrogance and cruelty, because Jack was totally intolerant in case of Piggy, and he was the person from where we find clash between Ralph and Jake. So, and he was victimized. He was totally he had dry reasoning, intellectual person, but the poor fellow couldn't know that he could not be survived purely on the basis of intellectual qualities. He was lacking another shortcoming when we talk of, he was lacking moral courage, because when Simon was killed, at that time he was also involved in that along with Ralph and Jake and other Morris and Robert, but he didn't accept the responsibility. He didn't feel guilty when Ralph had this feeling, and Ralph talked to him. At that time he was lacking moral courage. He was not ready to face the truth that it was murder, it was not an accident. So it was Piggy's character. The protagonist is Ralph. When we talk of Ralph's character, protagonist is Ralph. He was 12 years a strong person, and 12 years a strong person. He was a very intelligent boy, and he belonged to urban middle class family, and it is clearly reflected in his speech and his conversation with other boys. Second thing which a leader should have, he was his optimistic frame of mind, because he was a strong person. He was one of the eldest boy on that island, and he assures other boys who were afraid, because when they found themselves alone, nobody is there to guide them, no adult was there, and in their school life they were trained with the help of adult world, so they were afraid. At that time, with the help of his optimism, he gives assurance to the children that not to worry, we all will be saved. And interestingly, at that time we find childlike qualities, as generally we find the qualities like we find qualities in boys that my father they think that their father can do everything. In the same way, when Ralph and Piggy, when they are talking at that time, on that beach, first time they met, Ralph said to Piggy that my father would come and he would rescue me. As we have talked of Piggy's character, Piggy was a bit rational. He says, how could he come to know that you are here? At that time he had no answer. But first of all, at first point, we find him puzzled. Really, he didn't think from that point of view. And he knew this, he had no answer for this. In spite of this, he assures other boys with cheerfulness that not to worry, we want to be rescued, and of course we shall be rescued. So this is what the important quality of a leader, that to fire the mind of people with hope that they would be survived. And he was quite successful in that. And he was a natural leader who had faith in democracy, faith in law and order. He didn't believe in chaos. He didn't believe in bizarre incidents. And he dealt the issues of little ones. There were 6 little children. They were of 5 to 6 years age, and they had some fear. When they saw some snacks, or they were afraid, at that time, how kindly he has talked. We can see here. And when he talks to them, that you could not have beastie or snack things on an island of that size. And with his comments, he says, they are found only in big countries like Asia and Africa. It shows that how much informed he is. So that these were the qualities of Ralph. We find, and he in the beginning means when they found themselves on the beach of the island, he met, first of all he met Piggy, and when they were roaming on that island, beach of that island, it was Piggy who was a keen observer. He found one conch, and it was Piggy who told him, means to Ralph, that how it can be used, how it can be blown. And it was Piggy who started blowing the conch. By listening to this, all the members, and the purpose was that if there were some dwellers on that island, they would come. Means when they are on the natural land, no scientific device available at that time, what can be done? So this is what we find in means use of conch suggested by Piggy. It was Piggy who blow it, and boys who was scattered here and then started coming. Means, and when they found that their leader, who was owner of that conch, is waiting for them sitting on a rock. So, and he addressed the meeting that what can be done. But as we have talked earlier, that except Simon and Piggy, means protagonists particularly Jake and Ralph, they were not flat characters, they were round characters. And he was a bit idealist, and he believed in democracy, he believed in law and order. He assigned duties to all the boys that we should keep the fire means ready, so that it can be signed to the other world, and with the help of that we can be rescued. But what happened? With the passage of time, all the routine duties become mechanical. Children had no interest, and they lost a wonderful opportunity of being saved because there was no fire. And at that time, first time, he realized, he says, things are breaking up. I don't know why. What is the change? Means being taken place in the boys. It reveals his concern for order and decency, because hunting was the only means medium through which they could get their food. And those who were hunters, they were interested much more. Means they were not at all interested in other duties, because it was means it gives them pleasure, it gives them heroic qualities, it gives them status that they are in hunting party. So he realized here in chapter 5th that I don't know how things are slipping from my hand, how things are breaking up. So this was, but later on we find changes in his